Hello, guys. Thank you so much for joining in for NextView podcast. As I've been saying, and Samantha has been saying on our social media page, we're super excited to have Ryan Durkin in the studio with us from Modern Manor. Modern Manor is a business located in Phoenix. From what I've read, Ryan is a native to Arizona.
Yep.
And so we're going to learn all about Modern Manor, learn about some of the things that they do, what services they offer, and just learn a little bit about Ryan and his family. Sounds good?
Cool.
Awesome. Thank you for joining me today.
Absolutely.
So we met
Right.
on the phone a couple
Yeah.
of weeks ago. I was Googling furniture places, and I came across your website.
Yeah.
So you're doing a job there, right? I came across your website.
I'm not doing a job.
Somebody's
my
doing
web
it.
guys are doing a good job. Yeah.
So I came across and I was searching and I was looking at pictures and I was like, oh my gosh, they have to be the people that stage our property on 6th.
Yeah.
So I know you guys are staging that next week and I'm
Yeah.
excited to see what you do. So that's how we met. We
Yeah.
had a conversation. You told me what you do. You told me about some projects that you're working on. I don't want to give too much away just yet. And that was that.
That's right. Absolutely.
So this is my first time meeting you. I've read some very interesting information about you. So just tell us a little bit about you. Where'd you grow up? How you got your start in
Sure.
everything retro?
Yeah, really. So yeah, I mean, born and raised in Phoenix, Arizona. Grew up in South Scottsdale till about 3rd grade, then moved up to Cave Creek. So grew up in Cave Creek.
Okay.
My parents still live up there. 6 acres and big red barn and the desert, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was fun. Quads and all that kind of stuff.
Awesome.
And then I went to ASU for 5 years and dropped out. Never quite stuck with me. I was always good at school.
Yeah.
But I don't know, after high school, I just kind of like got over it.
Because it didn't interest you, right?
Yeah, you know, I mean, everybody was like, "Oh, you're an entrepreneur. You should go to business school." Like I heard that all my life growing up. And I was like, okay, I didn't know any better. So I went to business school.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, man, sitting in those classes with 1 billion people talking about microeconomics, I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I hated it.
I remember that.
Yeah, and I'm creative. I like creativity and art and all that stuff. While I have a mind for business, I like that side of it more, you know? And so I don't know, I guess just like my patience for the like nitty gritty, even now, like I'm a businessman, right? But I'm awful if you guys, like people are like, oh, what's your business plan? I don't have a business plan. I'm like not organized. You know what I mean? I'm sort of funky that way. So yeah, I just didn't love the college thing. College is great, it just wasn't for me.
Right.
And dropped out, much to my parents' chagrin, of course, but they're good with it now.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the time they were like, what? You know, I'm the oldest.
So they can't see the vision. You
No.
have to lead them and see exactly where it is. Yeah.
And so, you know, at the time I had already started a T-shirt business, a screen printing and embroidery business. So it's not like I dropped out with like no direction.
Yeah.
I started a business and I thought, this is what I'm going to do.
Now, was the T-shirt business also retro themed?
So yeah.
Okay.
But I promise you the correlation is completely accidental. It was not like this was planned. I'm a Star Wars nerd.
Okay.
I love Star Wars. I have a tattoo. I'm a dork. I have like a 40-year-old virgin collection of action figures that my wife is like, she's cool with it. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
And there used to be a vintage clothing business by ASU called Plush.
Okay.
It's not there anymore. They scraped it, and it's like that. And I think it's college where like Postino and all that, the bookstore, all that stuff. Before that was that. There was just these little red brick houses that were like stores.
Yeah.
And I went in, and they had an old Star Wars T-shirt that had never been worn from like 1980. And that blew my, I'm like, no one's ever worn this? This is, oh my gosh.
That's
so
awesome.
I bought it. And I was like, yo, you got to call me if you get more. And so I bugged them like every week. And finally they're like, yeah, we got some iron-ons. And I was like, okay, I don't know what that is. They're like, come in, we'll show you. So an iron-on, it was a thing back in the day.
That
where
was
it's like
a big thing.
Yeah, it's like a piece of paper with an image on it. And you heat press it or iron it to a shirt, peel it off, and then it's on the shirt.
Right.
And so they're like, we got these Star Wars iron-ons. We got this rack over here of shirts that are blank. We can make whatever you want. And I was like, that's insane. And this is like I graduated in 2000.
Okay.
So this is like 2000.
Okay.
And eBay's pretty new. And so anyway, long story short, I jumped on eBay. I bought like 20,000 iron-ons from one place back in the Midwest that had gone out of business way back when. I bought a heat press. I bought a bunch of blank T-shirts.
Nice.
And I started making shirts.
Nice.
And they were vintage shirts. Led Zeppelin and Sesame Street. I mean, you name it.
Yeah.
Anything pop culture from back then. And it was just cool. Made good money doing it. And
Nice.
I was involved, I still am to a certain degree, in a ministry called Young Life. It's a Christian ministry for high school kids.
Wow. Okay.
And they would always be like, oh, you got to make shirts for camp. And I was like, well, if you wanted to say Led Zeppelin, cool. But like, if you want to say Young Life, that's not what I do, But I got enough of that to where it was like, okay. So I bought a little tabletop screen printing machine, kind of learned how to do that.
Nice.
Fast forward, had a couple of different clothing lines throughout the, sponsored bands, and went to concerts, and not a whole like hustle vibe of like doing the clothing thing. Went to the fashion conventions in Vegas.
And you were doing this while you were in college.
This was, in college, and then drop out and kind of keep doing it.
Got it.
And to this day, that business is called Retro Fashions.
Okay.
Because it was retro stuff back, and then it just stuck. And I still run that business. So I make T-shirts and hoodies and whatever, like Bashes and Food City, all their stuff. For instance. So it's a lot more boring now. The vintage thing, that's all gone. There's no more of that.
Okay.
That ran out, And now it's just whoever needs T-shirts for their business or their band or their whatever.
Very cool.
So I still do that.
Okay.
But then I got married.
Okay.
And my wife and I, just in decorating our condo.
And she's your partner in the business.
She is, yeah. Her and I started it together. And we had another business partner at the time when we very first started. It was us and a guy named Jeremy.
Okay.
And we bought him out a year and a half or 2 years into the business. And so it's been us for a while now, just us. And he's great. We're still buddies. He's a great guy. But anyway, we just kind of, I was running the T-shirt business, and we were just trying to decorate our condo. And we're both, like I said, we're both very like creative, artsy. Like the thought of going to IKEA and just buying the same thing everybody else had was like, no way. So we'd go estate sailing, and we'd go jump on Craigslist and go to auctions and stuff. That's awesome. just to like buy stuff for us. But that entrepreneur in me can't help. I go to an estate sale, I see a couch for $50. I got a couch already.
Yeah.
But it's $50. I can put that in my truck and sell it on Craigslist and make some money. I just can't. That's how So our garage got full real quick. And before we knew it, we had this like side hustle where we were selling stuff on eBay and Craigslist. And it was fun,
Yeah.
And then we got a little spot at an antique mall, started feeding that a little bit.
Wow.
And then that Jeremy guy, I met him kind of through that, and he was like, yo, we got to start a store. And I was like, bro, I don't got time for a store. Like, I got my own T-shirt business. I can't like sit around at a store. I said, you find a good spot and you sit the shop, and I'll start a store with you. And so he did.
Wow.
So we started a store. And yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for him pushing, I don't know that we'd have a store.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
That's really nice.
Yeah, and then it just kind of, we opened the door, we called it Modern Manor, and opened the doors, and we never like advertised or anything. Now, we did, the store we opened was right next to an already existing store called Phoenix Metro Retro that had been around for a while.
Okay.
And so that was a benefit to us, and they were great people, and they've gone out of business since then, but great people, wonderful people, did a really good job doing their thing. And so that was for sure helpful to drive traffic to us, being next to them. And then, we just kind of, since then.
So how long have you been in business with the store?
It'll be 10 years in April.
And for those people that don't know, can you tell us where it's located?
We moved, but not far. So right now, it's basically 7th Avenue and Indian School.
Okay.
If you go to 7th Avenue and Indian School and go north, there's that big, if you know the area at all. Is this me?
That's you.
All right. Hi, everybody.
That's you. That's you.
That's me. Cool. Hey. Anyway, if you go to 7th Avenue and Indian School, there's that big sign that goes over the road that says Melrose.
Yes. Yep.
We're literally right under that sign. Like if you go under that sign, the very first thing on your left is us.
Very cool.
And it used to be the old Paris Laundry building.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, so we bought that building, renovated it. Now that sign in neon says Modern Manor.
Right. I did see that.
Yeah, so that's us. Cool. We were previously up the street in a warehouse, which we still own, but it's just our warehouse.
What are your hours that you're open? Your
7 days a week.
Okay.
11 to 6.
Okay.
But we are opening a restaurant. I know we'll probably get there.
Yes.
When that happens, we'll probably open up a little earlier than 11.
So how did that come about, opening up the restaurant? So do you want to tell them what you're referring to?
Yeah, so that is a function of buying that new building. So we started in that warehouse, like I said, and for almost 9 years we were in the warehouse.
Yeah.
And that was Modern Manor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you knew where to go, you were coming to find us. We were kind of off the beaten path a little bit. Some other shops kind of cropped up around us and became a little bit of a little hub, I guess you could say, for vintage modern shopping, because there's a few shops all within walking distance. And we'd never intended to move. Like, that was never a need or a desire. It was just whatever.
Yeah.
And I guess to back up a little bit, we started a staging business. And the way that happened was, again, completely accidental.
Yeah.
I always say, if you live in Phoenix and you don't have any friends in real estate, then you don't have any friends, right? Like, everybody in Phoenix is in real estate, and all my friends are in real estate.
Okay.
And, you know, it was like one of those, well, I got this house, and Ryan and Kylie, you got all this furniture, and you guys like design things. You should stage it.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay. So we did, and then it was like, oh, that worked out. You should do another one, okay. And so it started slow like that. And then, again, same thing, no advertising, none of that. We just kind of kept doing it, and people would be like, oh, they do it, you know. And before we knew it,
10 people, I think, one-on-one
gosh,
about you guys.
We're busy. Back off a little bit. No, I'm just playing.
I know.
We'll take it. But no, we just started a staging business, and what happened is,
You might not.
yeah, sorry, I can't lean back. Anyways, what happened is we needed space. We had to end up buying. At first, we were staging with our inventory. Right. But at some point, you got enough staging jobs, you start to have no inventory.
That's what
and
I was
it's
gonna
like,
say.
I can't have an empty showroom.
Right.
Luckily, places like West Elm and Living Spaces and those places started to crop up with pretty good-looking mid-century modern vibey stuff. So we have amassed now this whole inventory of newer but good-looking, and we still mix in the vintage, you know, but like, I'm not going to stage with vintage bed sheets.
Right.
Gross. Soap pumps, fake plants, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so we needed a place for it. So I was on the hunt for a warehouse because we were like, it was like in my showroom, and I had to get storage containers, and it was kind of getting a little crammed.
Yeah.
And in the hunt for a warehouse, the Paris building became available.
Okay.
And I had always loved it. It was my favorite building on 7th Avenue. I've always loved that. I always thought to myself, one day that's going to not be a dry cleaner anymore.
Yeah.
And someone's going to do something super cool there. I never thought it would be me.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
But I was like, I just love the building.
Yeah.
And through my Allison, who runs Modern Phoenix, she was kind of my initial in there, and she kind of put me in touch with the right people. And the building's not, like, for instance, it's not historically saved.
Right.
And so there was some concern, like, oh my gosh, they went out of business. They're going to sell it. Someone's going to knock it down.
Yeah.
So me purchasing the building was a function of wanting to save it and also wanting to do something super cool there. And so I brought on a partner in the real estate acquisition of the building because it was expensive and more than I could handle on my own. And even then, the plan was not move in. It was like, we're just going to do something. I don't know. We'll develop it.
We'll figure it out.
Save it. We'll figure it out. And after talking around in circles, we decided, I guess we'll move. But Modern Manor can't occupy an 11,000 square foot building all by ourselves. You know what I mean? And so we just kind of started brainstorming and came up with, well, why don't we put a food concept in here? And then we also have studios in the back.
Right.
So Way LA Studios, they've been rocking it for like a year with us. So they do everything: weddings, photo shoots, video shoots, parties, all kinds of stuff.
That's
releases.
awesome.
I mean, there've been like red carpet deals for like Instagram celebrity people and little girls lined up around the building to meet these kids that are famous on Instagram. I mean, all kinds of stuff. They do great stuff back there, and that's
awesome.
that's in the back.
Okay.
In the front and in the vault, because there's a vault in this building, like a bank vault.
Yeah.
But it was for storing fur coats. And so we're turning that into a speakeasy. But anyway, all that to be said.
I love that idea.
Well, yeah, we were like, it's a vault. What do we do?
So how big is the vault space?
It's 1,000 square feet. So it's not huge.
But most speakeasies are small.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. It's small and it's intimate. It's supposed to be like a little cocktail lounge.
Yeah.
You don't really know it's there. You just see a vault door. And when you go in, you're like, oh my gosh, this is all back here? You know? And so anyway, some guys that currently work for Chris Bianco of Pizzeria Bianco, who, by the way, is a homie. I love Chris. We're buddies. And
my cousin loves that pizza.
Yeah. Oh, everybody loves that pizza. But they work.
I've never had it.
Oh, you got to have it. You got to have it.
I'll have it.
Yeah, it's the best. It's amazing. But he has a fancy Italian restaurant called Trotto, which is right next to his 20th and Camelback.
Yes.
Bianco. Yeah. So some guys that have kind of run that place, Trotto, for years, and they're kind of like, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're leaving to come open their own concept in our building. Yeah.
I love that.
Right. So we've got some talent behind the restaurant. I'm not trying to go. Everyone's like, did you get a liquor license? I'm like, I ain't doing that. I'm not doing that.
I let somebody else who has that experience take that on.
Yeah, you're good at this. You're good at this. I'm good at this. Let's all do what we're good at. And I'm not trying to run a restaurant.
That's going to be so much fun.
Yeah. So that's why the sign says eat, drink, shop.
Yes.
Currently.
Because you can do it all.
Yes.
I love it.
Now, we've had many hiccups in the process. We should have been open a year ago. You know, the same story, the city and the architect and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But we're getting there. We're like, we got one little structural thing that we need to fix, and then we're off to the races.
So if you had to guess when you'd be open.
This year.
Okay.
Sometime,
so before December 31st.
Yes.
Maybe on December 20th. No, just kidding.
Right. On Christmas. No, we're really, really hoping, sometime November, December, and we'll see.
So will there be a party to commemorate it? Okay,
for sure.
So make sure we're on the invite.
Of course. And it's funny, you asked me how long we've been doing this. April 1st will be our 10-year anniversary. So we will likely open soft, right, at first, and then start to plan a party like boom. And I bet you
time it with the anniversary.
It coincides with, hey, it's our 10-year anniversary.
That is going to be so awesome.
Time? Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about it. Let's talk about your staging, the staging business, and talk about some of this. Just explain to people what you guys do when you come in and you stage a property.
Okay.
And then while you're explaining, the guys can run some video to show some different examples of what they've already done, what Modern Manor has already done that we took from their Instagram.
Ooh, fancy. Yeah, so, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. We come in and stage the house. I mean, typically the type of house we stage is a flip, or a spec home, something that's, somebody's remodeled it, it's empty, and they need us to come in and stage it.
Yeah.
Every now and then we get, someone moved and they just now need to sell their house. Right. And so an agent will call us, and maybe the house isn't like all fancy and new. It's kind of dated or whatever. Yeah. But whatever. We'll come in, freshen it up, and stage it. We never stage a house someone lives in.
Right.
That's been requested many times, and I just...
Because you don't want your furniture to be utilized as...
It's not supposed to be used.
Right.
It's supposed to be like looked at, viewed. Right. But yeah, I mean, typically we'll stage whatever you want, but my recommendation is always main living spaces, so living, dining, kitchen, great roomy area. Yeah. If you have another living room, depending on how big the house is, right? That. Yeah. And the master. Okay. And then, we do everything from a little 1,000-square-foot condo to... I mean, right now my guys are staging a $4.5 million house up in Silverleaf, up at Greyhawk. Oh, wow. So everything in between, you know what I mean? And those houses have multiple living spaces, an office, a huge master with a living room in the master. You know what I mean? Yes. And so it's all about the house, but, sometimes they're like, well, we want to stage the master, but then we want this other room to be like an office. Yeah. And so we'll do that. And then when we stage, whatever we do, it's always full. Right. It's a full stage. It's not... Sometimes we get requests for we just want, people trying to save money. Yeah. We just want a light stage. And I'm kind of like, if we're going to stage it, we're going to stage it. Just some just dishes. Put a couch. Oh, well, that's And I'm like, weird. I'm not going to put a couch without a rug and a coffee table and stuff on the coffee table and a TV to look. I don't, you know what I mean? We just don't I'm like, we'll stage it or not. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you out. So I know you're staging the house over on 6th Street. Yeah. And my question on that one, I know that you're doing the main rooms, but are you doing anything in that casita? We're not. Okay. And so it's Mike, right? Mike. Mm-hmm. So that was his call. I just kind of said, so in the case of a house with a casita, I'm always like, it's up to you, you know? I think, personally, I think it's better to do it just because it's like you're showing it off. Yeah. And the money that staging costs relative to what you'll get back. Yeah, what the real estate agent makes, for instance, is way more than what it's worth the money. Yeah. For an extra $1,000 or whatever in the grand scheme of thing. Yeah. It's worth the money. But at the same time, a casita isn't, I wouldn't say you need to do it. Correct. Where if you said, I don't want to stage the living room, I'd be like, you got to stage the living room. Yeah. So I don't, I want to always be honest and fair with people. I'm also the guy getting paid to do it. So like what I say seems biased, and it really never is. I always want to just do a good job. Like I always tell people,
your reputation.
Yeah. Some people will say, I want you to stage every bedroom. I could go, okay, and charge them to do so. Yeah. But every time I'm like, no, you don't need to do that. Yeah. We will. It costs you more money. But you just stage the master. You don't need to do all the bedrooms.
People spend 30 seconds in the secondary bedrooms.
How big are they? The bed goes there.
Yeah.
Like they don't.
How big is closet? All right. The master is where the money's at.
Right. And I always say too, the person writing the check at the end of the day, they're usually sleeping in the master.
Exactly.
So show them how cool that is.
Yes. That's what they care about.
Yeah.
I love it. So on average, let's just say it's 1,000 square foot condo. On average, how much would it cost a person to stage that?
$2,500. Our minimum is $2,500.
Okay.
That's our minimum. And that's usually a little condo, right? A little 800, 1,200 square foot condo deal. Where it starts to go up from there is if the condo is on the 3rd floor.
Yeah.
Maybe it's $3,000 because my guys charge me extra for that, and it takes them longer.
Yeah.
If you start,
unless it's on an elevator, unless there's an elevator.
Even with an elevator, because an elevator is. It's just more complicated. Wait for the elevator.
Got it.
Elevator opens. Go in. You can only fit so much stuff. Stay there. Wait for the. It's just more of a process than walking right in the front door.
Takes more time.
Just takes more time.
Got it.
So, but if it's a condo that's on the 1st floor or it's a townhouse or something like that, no problem.
Okay.
And that's not a hard rule. If sometimes it's on the 2nd floor and it's tiny and we're not doing much, and it's still $2,500. It's fine.
Gotcha.
It's all about the place.
See the job. Yeah.
The second you say house. Most of the time, it's $3,500.
Okay.
Just right there. Because it's just that much more stuff. The quality of stuff, it just is what it is.
Yeah.
And then it just goes up from there based on casita, office.
Yeah.
More than one living space, big living space. Yeah. And it just kind of goes up from there. And I would say the max is like, we've done several $10,000 jobs.
Got it.
It's never been more than that.
Okay.
Not that it couldn't be. For sure it could be.
Yeah. But
so far, that's been about our max.
So let me tell you what I liked when I called you, as opposed to me calling other staging companies.
Yeah.
You were very direct and specific about, on average, this is how much it costs.
Yeah.
And just like you explained right now to me is exactly how you explained to me on the phone. And I can appreciate a person who is just not wishy-washy and all over the place, because that's the setup for probably a bad experience later.
Right.
So you do this enough where you just know your stuff.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. So if anybody is looking for staging,
thank you.
That is really simple to me.
Good.
You said a couple things. You said, this is my pricing. Don't micromanage me.
Yeah. Well, and that's another big thing. And here's the thing. It's funny because I appreciate that you appreciate that. Yeah. Because for real, because, I'm direct. I'm a direct guy. But I'm a nice guy.
Very nice.
And my heart's in the right place, and I want to help people.
Yes.
But my personality, if you will, is what it is. And I never mean to come across offensive or any of that stuff. But I want to get to the point, and I want to manage your expectations, right, to a certain extent, so you know what you're getting.
Yeah.
And I don't want to sugarcoat stuff. I'm like, this is what you're going to get. And so it's nice to hear that you appreciate that.
I loved it.
It's on purpose.
As Samantha, I was like, I love this guy. I was like, he was so specific, and I sent the information to my client immediately. I was like, call him.
Yeah.
Because he was going to go with somebody else. And I was like, I'm pretty sure his pricing is better.
Sure.
He has the exact look and feel of the house. I really love that house. I think it's finishing up today.
Yeah.
And so I was like, call
And
Ryan.
he was cool. He was super cool, real easy to work with, understood. He's having a baby, I think, pretty soon.
Just 2 days ago, the baby was born.
Yeah, great guy.
Only 2 hours his wife was in labor.
Yeah, that's like my wife, man.
Really?
Just
Quick.
get him out. Yeah.
That's awesome.
We have 3, so. But no, and the micromanaging thing, so that's always like a thing with a new client.
Yeah.
If I've worked with you before, you know the
what to
deal, it's all
expect.
good.
Yeah.
But I just tell people, it's not like a pride or an ego thing at all. It's just a logistics thing. Like, we're coming once.
Yeah.
And we don't have the ability or desire, frankly, to, because some people will be like, well, can you show me what sofa you're going to use beforehand and what bed you're going to, and I'm like, no. There's hundreds of pictures for you to look at to see what we do.
Yeah.
What we do is it's not the same everywhere, but the look, the vibe we create, that's what we do.
Consistent.
Yeah, it's consistent. And so hire us based on that.
Yeah.
If you like what we do, hire us based on that.
Yeah.
If you don't, cool, no problem. But then you just have to trust us.
Right.
And I'm all for as much on the front end that you can give me, right?
Yeah.
If you're like, I hate yellow,
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now I know we won't bring any yellow pillows.
Yeah.
Right. And I like, give me some imagery. Like, we like this look, we like that look. And if I look at it and go, we can't do that, I'll tell you. But if I look at it and go, okay, she wants to lean a little more this way than this way, I like that.
Yeah.
But then just let us do our thing, and we'll come and we'll do it. And I've learned in the past, because everybody has their own way about things. And we'll stage a house, and someone will come in and be like, I don't like the dining set you used, I don't like the rug.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I charged you for this, but now you want me to take it all away and bring more back. Like, I can't do this 14 times.
Yeah.
And so I just want to lay the ground rules. And everyone is always cool with it. We never have any problems with it. But even with that, I'm cool with, like, if you say, I hate that piece of art. Okay, cool, we'll take it. I mean, it's fine. We'll work with you to a certain degree.
Yeah.
But if I got to rip up the whole thing, I just can't do it.
It's a vacant house, though. It's like you're marketing to somebody that's not you.
Yeah. Most of the time when that becomes an issue, it's usually when you're working with a designer who designed the house, because they're very, and I get it. I totally get it. But they have the vision, and their heart is in it. Usually like an agent or somebody. They're like, whatever. Yeah. I just need to sell the house. Yeah. I don't care what couch you use unless it's ugly. So usually it's a designer thing, and I get it. I want to work with them.
Now, how often do you stage a house and then you have a buyer say, well, can we buy the furniture?
Yeah. So it happens.
Yeah.
I'll say this. I've never sold ever.
Okay.
We've staged hundreds of homes. I've never sold all the furniture.
Okay.
For whatever reason, in the past 6 months, I've had more of that, where we've sold a decent amount of the stuff to the buyer. Okay. And I'm always for it. I'm good with it. But before 6 months ago, I sold a couch once. Okay. I mean, we just don't, What happens is they'll go, how much for? It's easy for someone to ask that question. Yeah. It's harder for me to answer it.
Gotcha.
I got to sit down and go, okay, that little soap pump was $5, and that, it's like a lot of work for me to come up with that number. And they're just curious. Yeah. So when I get the question, I always usually it's the agent asking me. Yeah. I always say to the agent, I say, why don't you find out from the buyer really what they're, like, if they're really interested, I'll do all the work. Yeah. But if they're just curious, find out what pieces they like the most, and I'll give you prices. And if they're like, yeah, I'll take those, what about the rest of it? Then I'm happy to do the work. Yeah. I just don't want to, it's an hour of me sitting down and crunching all the numbers. And when I've done that in the past, my experience is that they're like, 30 grand, pass. And I'm like, okay.
You're like, you spent all that time.
Thanks. So I would say it's not a frequent thing that it happens, but it has happened a couple of times where people will buy some stuff. Yeah.
Do you think that you guys get a lot of more visits to your showroom as a result of your staging at all?
Oh, I have to think that. Yeah. It's hard to track it. Yeah. But I mean, I know people have come in as a result of that. Yeah. Yeah.
Love it.
So, yeah.
Well, anything else that you would like people to know about you, your business, before we wrap up?
No, I mean, other than where to find us.
Go for it.
Right? Okay, so
because your Instagram is amazing.
Instagram. So Instagram is at Modern Manor. Manor is MANOR, like a home, right? Manor. Right. We also have an Instagram for the staging called at Modern Manor Staging. Simple. We have a specific Instagram for the showroom, which is at Modern Manor Showroom, right? And it used to be at Modern Manor was the thing. Yeah. But because we now have the studios in the back and the restaurant, the at Modern Manor Instagram is the one that talks about all the stuff. Like when the restaurant's open, that it'll talk about cocktails and food and couches and the party we just had at WLA Studios. That's what the Modern Manor Instagram's like, the umbrella.
Got it.
So we've transitioned Modern Manor Showroom is now where you'll find all the content that you used to find on Modern Manor. Got it. That's like, this is a new couch we got. This is a new table we got. Gotcha. And then the staging is specifically staging projects that we've done. Okay. And then, the studios is at Way LA Studios. Restaurant's going to be at Valentine_Phoenix, or PHX. PHX, website is modernmanorphx.com. And all of those Instagrams are linked at the website. Perfect. Yeah. And what's your website? modernmanorphx.com or modernmanorstore.com. Both go to the same place. Perfect. Yeah. They have a great Instagram, you guys. I mean, even if I didn't meet Brian a couple weeks ago, it's a page that I would follow. So literally me and Samantha was just having that conversation like, oh, we would follow this even if we didn't know about it. So I'm very happy we found you. Oh, well, thank you. So thank you so much for being a guest. You're welcome. Thank you for having me. You're welcome. You guys, again, thank you so much for tuning in to NextView Podcast. Ryan gave you all of his contact information
if you are interested in staging, if you're interested in purchasing furnishings, if you're interested in just going to have food once they open up, or a speakeasy, have a drink. That's going to be a great place to hang out. I'm going to go.
I'll be there.
Yeah, right. So thank you so much to our team that helps us put this podcast together every single week, and they also help us deliver the best possible service to our clients. I'd like to thank my group, the NextView Home Professionals, me, Samantha, and Fabi. We would love to assist you with all of your real estate needs, whether you're looking to buy a home, sell a home, or maybe you simply need a referral to fix your air conditioner that might go out in the next couple of weeks if it hasn't already. Or maybe you need somebody to service it so you don't go through the drama that people go through in the summer with their air conditioning units. And our buddies over at Nova Home Loans, we work with the Oliver Whalen team for all things mortgages. They can assist you if you want to purchase a new home, if you want to get a new loan, if you want to refinance. Give Justin and Ryan a phone call. They would be happy to assist you. Yvonne Hunter is our preferred home warranty partner, Platinum Home Warranty. They can assist you with all your warranty needs. Yvonne just posted something regarding air conditioning units and how Platinum does consider that an emergency. I know some home warranty companies do not consider that an emergency, but they do. So you would get automatic dispatching. So if you're looking for a home warranty or you have one that's recently expired or soon to expire, reach out to Yvonne and order a new one. Last but certainly not least, Security Title. Thank you so much for always helping our clients through the closing process and making sure they're closing their loans on time and with clear title. We work with the Gilbert office with Jeremy Eaton and Elva Palmer, and they assist us with all of our things escrow. So thank you guys for tuning in this week. We'll be back next Thursday at 1 o'clock here on Facebook Live, and we'll see you there. If you don't already, be sure to subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, everywhere you get podcasts, and just look for NextView with the white logo. See you guys soon. Thanks.